gentlemen, welcome back to the Marshal Kramer Show. I'm Marshal Kramer, and this is my show, the place where I talk about my shit, I talk about stuff, I talk about life. If you're new to the show, welcome. Welcome to the Marshal Kramer Show. What's this show about? Let me give you a quick little synopsis. Basically, I'm a young man, and life at this stage and every previous stage I've ever been in leaves me filled with a lot of questions. And the more I talk to other people, the more I talk to my friends, my family, I realize a lot of people have a lot of questions about life. So this is my verbal diary. This is the place that I sit down and I discuss all of that stuff. And I try and, perform it here on the show in kind of a narrative that can be relatable to you and anyone else who's listening. So yeah, it's a place where Marshal Kramer sits down and talks about his questions. Sometimes I do it in a monologue form like this. Sometimes I have a dialogue with my friends. Sometimes I mix and mash. Sometimes I open with a monologue and end with a dialogue. It's just whatever the freak I want to do. And today I have a question. Today I have a question about life. I was watching one of my favorite podcasts called Tigerbelly, which is hosted by a famous comedian named of Bobby Lee. He's a beast. You've probably seen him in some shows. He's been in, he was on Mad TV, which is the Fox version of SNL. He was there for 8 years. He's also on the Pineapple Express. He's also on Splitting Up Together, a show on ABC. The Wrong Missy, David Spade's new movie 2 years ago. Harold and Kumar, XYZ, whatever. He's a beast, and I love his show. That was my little pitch for Bobby Lee. But on his most recent episode, he was talking about his positive belief for the next chapter of his life. Talking about how he has no idea what's going to happen, and he just always holds a positive belief that whatever comes next is just going to be better in whatever way. So I'm going to play this video, and I'm actually going to watch it here too, so I can kind of have another live reaction, because I haven't seen it in a little bit, but I wrote it down a few days ago, but I just want to refresh my brain. So here it is. Bobby Lee, Tigerbelly, episode 332.
I'll be honest with you, I'm still not over Bob dying. I don't know, just watching that documentary kind of made me go, no, man, it's not over. Something different's gonna happen, and something more amazing could happen. That's what I believe, either with this show or with other things, who knows? But that's what the exciting thing about life is. You don't know.
For both of you in your heart.
So yeah, as you can see there, basically what he's talking about, when he first said he's not over Bob dying, he's talking about Bob Saget. You've definitely seen Full House, the old show. He was the main character. He was the main dad, but he recently passed away. He was a friend of Bobby's. But he was, just talking about that belief that he's got no idea what's going to happen next. We don't. That's the one thing I can talk definitively about. We can utilize calculations and projections and estimate, what's going to happen next, right? So I can highly likely, or I'm very, very, very persuaded that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I feel like I'm going to live another day. It just seems very likely. Within the area I live in, there's no violence. I don't have any diseases, illnesses that I know about. XYZ, taking care of myself, whatever. So I think I'm going to live. But that's the one thing I also know, is that no one can guarantee what's going to happen in the next 10 seconds, let alone 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 years. So basically what he's, talking about is, for him, right? This subjective part. Objectively, none of us know what's going on. None of us know what's going to happen. None of us know what's going to happen. So subjectively, how he decides to handle with that is to have the positive view that I believe something better is coming. I believe something better is going to happen, even if it is not something that at this current moment is what I see for myself in the future, what I currently want for myself in the future, or what I currently expect, right? XYZ. It may be something completely different, but he believes that he's going to he's going to take this positive, optimistic view, and it's going to be better. Now, there's two ways he's doing that. One, he's doing it based off his life, that, he would say that his life is trickled up, as there's ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's like a stock. It slowly goes up over time. And so maybe he's utilizing that from his own, experience. He's saying, hey, I've been living for 53 years now, and he's like, every time I think it's bad or whatever, you know, it keeps getting better and better and better and better. Even if I go, you know, oh, the show's ending, for him, you know, he goes, oh, the show's ending, they're cutting my show, it'll never work again. He goes, next thing you know, the show gets cut that I've been on for years, and he goes, but something else better happens. So he has that belief that there's going to be something better. Or maybe he's just so fearful of the unknown that he just says, I have to believe that something better is going to happen. Or maybe it's a mixture of both. But anyway, I utilize that video because I subjectively identify with the same perspective as he does. Because I don't want it to be any other way, right? And it may not be the reality at all. Not just for me and not just for you or, you know, or anybody, but maybe even in different avenues. It just may never get better. There's got to be a point. There's got to be a... Thank you, Tom Brady, for your service. But there's got to be a point when Tom Brady was at his peak, right? He cannot possibly keep getting better and better and better. But he may say, you know, the moment I peak at my quarterbackness and I start coming down, I'm going to retire. And then, you know, he's a big family man. Maybe he's going to, you know, invest the rest of his life into being the best father possible. If I were him and 10 years come down the road and I haven't been playing ball for a decade, I would say that this is the best moment of my life because I that's what I want. I think we talked about it before that I've read this study or statistic that the first or the when was it? Yeah, like it was like no, you're right. It was all these statistics on age, like so your first time you kissed, first time you had sex, XYZ, and one statistic was peak happiness, and it said 23 years old, and I said no freaking way because. Happy February, happy Black History Month, happy Love Month, happy month of the birth of Marsh. So my birthday's coming up here, I'm about to turn 23. If this, and no offense to this age Marsh, right? I'm living life, I'm so good, I'm so happy, I'm working towards fulfillment, but I enjoy each day, I really do, and I at least enjoy parts and large parts of each day, you know, everyone has their ups and downs. But if this is my peak happiness, fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that. That is not a perspective that I want to hold. That does not make me feel fulfilled. That doesn't make me feel even, like, happy in any way. Like, if that is actually the truth, then let me pseudo this happiness for the rest of my life. Let me fake everything possible for the rest of my life. If I'm on a downtrend, then I'm just going to fucking try and get high as I can with alcohol, drugs, whatever. Like, happy things. I'm just gonna eat and watch movies. If that's actually the truth, I'm done. I was watching a video yesterday of Dana White. I won't get into it with the politics, but it seemed like he was justifying his low pay for UFC fighters. But anyway, he used a story of what happens if I gave you $37 million right now today. What are you gonna do tomorrow? What are you gonna do tomorrow when that alarm bell goes off? And he goes, you're gonna lay in bed. You say, I have $37 million because you have nothing to, you have $37 million. You're not getting punched in the face because you have $37 million. So he's saying, we reward them respectively to keep them hungry, XYZ. But same type of mindset goes into if you knew, right? So you knew you got $37 million. If you knew today is the peak of your satisfaction, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow? Tomorrow you might be a little suspicious. So actually you might actually continue with a normal day, hoping that subscription you got saying that your time's up, right? You're hoping it's fake. It's not going to happen, right? There's got to be something better. You see the next day isn't better. You try it again, you try it again, you try it again. You might even have so much hope and faith that you try it for the next few weeks or months. But eventually you start to see that, oh my God, what they told me a few months ago was right. That was the peak of my life. What are you going to do? Let me speak for myself here. I'm going to grab a lot of vodka. I'm going to grab, some steaks, spend all my money on steaks, some potatoes. I'm going to freaking have some garden salsa sunchits, maybe some flaming hot Cheetos. I'm going to grab some women. I'm going to watch some movies. I'm just going to live life. Because if that's actually it, then I'm done. That's me personally. I'm done. If that's what I knew, my peak happiness was there. So for myself, how do I combat that? And again, maybe this is a little subjective for each person. So, hear me, and then take it into your own manner, your own thoughts, your own life. You had a lot of things happen to you and from your life now that I haven't had happen to me. So we have to think a little bit differently. But anyway, I need to think that. I need to think that something better is coming, and it's going to come. But now with that, I literally just immediately thought, I always said that I always said that. I've never said that. I don't know why I say that. I go that sometimes people will say something like, man, I always say that. I always say peanut butter and jelly goes together with jam. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I always say that, man. This show should be called Inner Thoughts with Marshal Kramer, because a lot of these times I think about it a little bit. I have a little bit of pre-show work to try and organize the show a little bit to make sense to the average viewer. But a lot of times it's just my live inner thoughts. But immediately my inner thought came into the fact that, but now I immediately rethought that, right? Live thoughts happening here. I actually recently talked about it on the last few shows about work and doing something for yourself, right? And the importance of it for me, and I see it for a lot of people, the importance of feeling, a feeling of progression, a feeling of working towards something, even if it's a meaningless end goal, just the work of daily progression, slowly but surely, whatever it may be, one foot in front of the other. And also with that optimism of the future, it only works when I'm doing something. Because immediately I feel the hypocritical thought or the hypocritical feeling in my stomach the moment I have that thought that, hey, everything's going to be better, man. And then I'm, ow, shit. Ow. Damn. Busted my elbow when I'm sitting over there and I'm in my living room on my couch. That doesn't work for me unless it's, every now and again you got to sit in your couch and hang out. But if I'm not doing something for myself day after day, week after week, or I'm not progressing, let's just say, maybe I was doing something, but I wasn't doing enough to actually, progress, get better and better, right? Then that feeling, then I don't believe it. I don't even say it because nothing better is going to come if that is how I'm going to live in this current situation. I want that optimism, right? Of the future's better. The future's brighter. The future's going to bring me better things in different avenues, right? But the only way that feeling can resonate in my body and I can feel it, and every day, it clicks, still ups and downs, but every day it's that slow trickle of it ends up getting better each day, is if I'm backing it, right? I'm walking the talk, right? I'm walking the walk. Don't just talk to talk. I'm walking the walk. That's the only way it possibly works and resonates in my body. Again, I like that feeling because again, it gives me the responsibility for my feeling, my opportunity, XYZ. A great quote. Some people don't believe in it. Some people don't believe this, but I do. The harder I work, the luckier I get. And that's basically what I'm trying to say here is, some people say it's not luck. See all that work that I did? It's not luck. It's like, but what I mean by luck is the unexpected. Putting in work in this avenue, you think this, right? So let's use the Marshal Kramer show as a great example, right? What's my hopes here for the Marshal Kramer show is to utilize what I think I have. Actually, I know I have better than the average human being is speaking skills. My inflection, my tone, my speed, everything. It's more theatrical than most people can perform in front of a camera or a microphone. So I decided, let me utilize that skill in the best way to podcast in hopes to get financially financially compensated for my efforts and times and whatever, right? And I want to build this show. That's what you think. So put time into the show and you're going to become a speaker who gets paid on your show, right? Right now I don't get paid really, except for your Get Upside affiliation clicks, links, and gas fill-ups. Marshal 8455 promo code. What if that's not what's going to happen? What if it's this? What if it's me putting my time and effort into speaking, right? Into performing, but then somebody who watches the Marshal Kramer show works for a radio show, and then they end up going like, hey, would you, even though radio's dead, my opinion, sorry. And they go, hey, Marshal, would you like to have the 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. DJ thing on our, 107 BTBB? and I'll do the late night show. And I'd be like, hell yeah. And then I start getting paid to do that, right? These things can lead to things that are unexpected. Would I rather do my show? Yes. But also at the same time, I put in the work and I had the thought that something's better is going to come. And ultimately, right? Doing my own show and not getting paid, or doing a radio show, but getting paid. Let's be realistic here. Come on. I like doing this. This is fun. But if I didn't have the hope, I'm being dead at. I'm trying to be honest here. If I did have the thought that this was never, ever, anything ever was going to come out of this, there was nothing better in the future that was going to come out of this show, you cannot expect me to do it. There's no way. There's just no way. Or maybe there's a way. Someone rebuttal me. But for me, that's just not how it is. So I have this optimistic thought that there's something better that's going to come. And I'm very excited for what the opportunities, what opportunities may come from putting effort into this show, into this field. And I utilize the adjective excited because that's what Bobby Lee used at the end of the video. He goes, and that's the exciting part about life. Now that's the subjective part. The objective part of that video, right, was that nobody knows what's going to happen. You cannot convince me at all that you even can tell me what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes. You can have a 99% guarantee. I know, right, in the next 1 minute, the next 60 seconds, the next 1 minute, I'm going to continue doing this podcast. I can almost guarantee you that. I'm not going to die. No one's going to shoot me. But you can't actually guarantee that. And I will definitely, the deeper you go into the future, the less and less and less I'm going to believe you. The less and less your probability of prediction, the right prediction is definitely going to decline, because I can also predict in, let's say not 24 hours, let's say 20 hours, I'm going to be waking up. I'm going to be waking up the next day. I can probably, again, next 1 minute, 99% sure I'm still be doing this. In the next 20 hours, I'm going to be waking up. I'm probably 99.2% sure that that's what's going to be happening. But you cannot prove to me what's going to happen. And he utilizes the word excited. That makes him excited. And I utilize the word positive about the future and optimistic about the future, which makes me excited about the future as well. But that's subjective, because we all arguably have this fear of the unknown. I think I talked about it on the most recent episode with Reed Urson, where we talked about that maybe all fears ultimately at their final root, at their deepest root, is the fear of the unknown. Arachnophobia, afraid of spiders. Logically speaking, are you really afraid of spiders? You're really actually afraid of them, or are you just afraid of them because you don't understand them, right? Because we see a lot of people in this world who are not afraid of spiders, that will have tarantula pets, they'll have spider pets, and they'll let their spiders crawl all over them, and nothing will happen to them. And every now and again they get bit, but they know the reality. It's just a little bite. They're fine. It's not a black widow. It's just a little. It hurts. It's a little sting. It's like in a shot. So they know that reality. You don't know that. You think you're gonna get bit by this tarantula and you're gonna die. You're literally gonna be freaking out there. You start convulsing. You're gonna turn into Seizure Boy. After Party. Kyle, good movie. You should sit down there and start busting out rabies foams, but it's not the reality. So it's the fear of the unknown. Same with snakes, right? People, dude, I'm not afraid of snakes, bro. But like every time we're at some sort of place, I think the last time I had it was the spring fling in my final year of high school. But like all the snakes over the necks, not for me, man. A lot of time I see the girls with it, I go, damn, that's sexy. But it's not for the Marsh. That scares the shit out of me, because I probably have the fear of the unknown. Immediately, my brain goes to Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez on the movie Anaconda, and I'm like, this thing's gonna wrap my neck, and I'm literally gonna like cartoonize. My head's already massive, and it's just gonna inflate, and I'm literally gonna bop like a fucking balloon. So that's what's gonna happen to me. And it's like, Marsh, that's not the truth. These things are really kind. They think of you as a tree. They're gonna move around you. They're gonna utilize you. Not gonna choke you. And it's just the fear of the unknown. But excited, and then fearful. Most people I feel subjectively hold that fearfulness. And that's why we create all of these different things. That's why we create, without getting into it, right? We create our own ideologies and beliefs about things. And it's like, that's how it's going to be. This is what helps me work through that. Like I literally said, you could argue that my belief, and Bobby Lee's, I'm not speaking for him, but you saw in the video, his belief too, and his ideology, his religion, is this positive belief of the future. And you see that also in a lot of religions. It's maybe arguably a reason that religion was even created in the first place, without getting into it, was that what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going to happen? Someone needs to help me figure this out, and if they can't, then I need to figure it out for myself. And then someone figured it out for themselves, they shared the story, and now everyone starts figuring out whatever works subjectively for you, whatever you want to believe. But then also, at the same time, some people never find a way to, I would argue most people do, but there's also people who don't find a way to cope with that feeling of the unknown. And they end up doing things that lead to, maybe it is a form of nihilism, right? If you never, ever find a way to cope with the unknown, maybe you develop this feeling of, then this is all pointless and meaningless. It's so scary. I don't want to do this. And they lead to bad things. Talking about my example earlier, if my peak of existence, my peak of happiness is 23, I'm immediately going to develop this nihilistic view that then nothing matters then. Nothing after this matters. If this is my peak currently, then nothing after this matters. So I'm going to go out having fun, and we know how humans have fun. They divulge in a lot of different activities, and those are the activities I'm going to do because it's done. I have no other feeling. And that's not my point to persuade you. Maybe it is. I don't know why maybe I'm afraid of like feedback and stuff. Not feedback, but like rebuttals. I don't know. I'm new to this stuff still too, only a few years in. But I actually want you to realize that there is a way for things to be better. And it is going to be better. And only if you work and you hold that ideology and you allow free expectations. You just allow for things to happen. And I just feel so strongly in my core that if you do those things, you make that equation of work, optimism, hope, faith, and low expectations. I just believe that equation equals a sum of a better, more optimistic future, right? I have to end this portion of it with the opposite argument, though. Shit! Right? I love to just hold that whatever. Now, however,
optimism,
positivity.
Is there a danger? Is there another side to those ideologies? I was talking to my counselor, therapist, counselor, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I was talking to my counselor, and I was talking to them about, remember, they've been with me for a while. So I was talking to them about
my
personal habits, ideologies of thoughts. And they noticed that you're a very positive thinker. You're a very optimistic thinker. And we were talking about this very realistic situation in my life that I don't want to divulge here, and that's okay. That and my outlook on it. And my outlook was very positive. And then they stopped me and they asked me, deeper questions about it. And then they started analyzing. And so they told me this. They basically told me this. They said that I don't have to do that. They go, Marsh, you don't have to always need this positive view. You don't always need to say, what's going to be all right. Fuck my problems, man. There's people that got real problems in this world, man. There's people that are dying every day in XYZ. And they go, stop. True. Very, very, very true. However, Marsh, that doesn't mean you need to delegitimize your own feelings. That doesn't mean you need to delegitimize this scenario. It's okay, Marshall, to feel that right now it's not good. And in the near future, in this next day, maybe in this next week, I'm not going to feel better because the current situation that I'm in is real, very real. And I need to sit with that and sit with my thoughts. And I don't need to force this positivity and optimism in my brain. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to feel how I'm feeling. Yes, I've had a privileged life. Yes, I've had a great life. But yes, you, Marsh, have had a great life. But you need to understand that your feelings do matter to a degree. Sure, if that's what you want to argue, to a degree. But they do matter. And it's okay every now and again, and especially when it's something big, it's an impact, to just sit with that shit. You don't owe anybody anything, right? So I always felt with these podcasts. That's why I kept stopping. So I would do it for 3 months and I'd feel bad for 2 months and I'd stop because I felt I owed you this positive, this optimistic nature, right? This a big feeling. Maybe you felt it in this video, but I feel like my tone's a little less, right? I'm not in the best mood of my life. I think I talked about it in the last few podcasts. And that's okay. I don't need to solidify my optimism and energy. It's okay for me to sit and be.
I'm still a fucking man.
If you don't think I'm a goddamn man, I'm a
Goddamn.
man. That's what a man does right there, baby. I'm a man. And not even just a man, I'm a tough individual, right? And a tough individual can express his feelings and sit with his feelings and legitimize his feelings and not always have to push the optimism and positivity. Because I was reading an article on Berkeley.com or Berkeley.edu, so Berkeley's fresh website, and they were talking about the backfire of positive thinking. What possibly can bring backfire from that? And some researchers found that thinking about our future in a positive way can backfire. The more people positively fantasize about successfully reaching their goals, the less effort they actually put in to realizing them, right? Let's go back to Dana White. I'm paying you $37 million tomorrow, right? So when you wake up in the morning, by 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, $37 million in your account. So when you wake up in the morning, there's going to be $37 million. What the fuck are you doing? Huh? You're either sleeping in or you're waking up, calling all your friends, everyone you love. You say, I'm buying breakfast, brunch.
Let's go, baby. That's all on me.
Right? You're not going to be doing something that's positive for yourself or progressing towards whatever goal you may have. But I don't know, maybe your goal changes when you have $37 million. Your goal is just to live life. So maybe you're on your right goal. I don't know. But anyway, one study showed that the people who fantasize more about successfully losing weight actually lost weight. Another study found that students who fantasize about their transition into a professional career were less successful in their job search, and students who dream more about their crush were less likely to start their relationship with their crushee. Been there, done that. Fantasized about a possible reality, about what can happen. And because our imagination is so good, at least mine is. I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be broken, but Marsh's flowing better than ever. So a lot of time, my imagination can be so good that I don't want to go out into the real world where dangers exist, because in my head, and the reality that I just fathomed and made up is actually phenomenal. I'm not leaving this dream. I'm not waking up. I'm not leaving this dream. Right? So I do get that, but I really just had to bring that up. Remember, what people need to know about this, and this is my push for do your own research. Really look into stuff. One person's word is not everything, because in science, if you don't think bias exists, it exists to an extreme degree in science. Scientists might be arguably more than other fields, artists, XYZ. They have the greatest ego, right? They really, that's what they want, their name after everything, and whatever. But you got to do your own research, because if you have any point that you want to make, There is a study. There is research behind it. And there fucking is, like, peer-reviewed research. Because you know why? There's 7.7 billion people in the world. A lot of different thoughts, a lot of different experiments, a lot of different things going on. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of
Evidence.
behind your thing. So, I trust the ones that have the most evidence, right? And the most logic. And what seems to fit me. I'm probably wrong about a lot of things, I think. But, you know, that's my push to just do your own research. Even the shit I'm saying here, man, it's just, you know, I think it's right, but it might not be. But anyway, it might be, thinking positive all the time might kind of backfire. The last thing, I thought I was going to close with that, but actually the last thing I want to talk about with this topic is the fear of the unknown, right? Maybe, just maybe, that fear of the unknown is also the thing that is fearful, right? So the unknown, we've talked about it objectively. The unknown, there's a fork in the road. There's two different ways you can go. The unknown, you can go positive, or the unknown, you can go fearful. And you may be an individual who's more prone to one way or another, but I would argue that all individuals at some point in times in different fields of their life, they've wandered down both roads. You know, they may lead more negative most of the time, but every now and again, they may find a positive way to feel about the unknown future. Maybe that's the same fear of the unknown, right? Like I was saying, the fork in the road. The fear, it paralyzes us. We hate it. It's sad. But that same fear that holds us in that regard is the same reason why we live. Because it's like using me as example, Bobby Lee, that positive route. That gives me so much juice. Because if you told me, we utilize two things right here, right? We utilize two examples today. I wake up tomorrow and I'm $37 million richer, right? So obviously a positive view on the future. Woohoo! Or I wake up tomorrow, I'm 23 years old and I reach the peak of my happiness. Two forks in the road. Positive, negative. They both move me. Because if you told me that, boom, $37 million, I'm probably done. Like, you think it's going to be, that's a positive future, right? You just don't have to worry about anything the rest of your life. But that also might be the most ridiculous negative. I know you may not think that, but think about it. Just sit back there and think about it. Maybe too much of the good, too much of anything can be bad. So too much good is just bad. But because that fear exists, that's why I keep moving. Because that fear exists is exactly why I'm motivated to work. And like I said, if I work and I hold the positive outcome, the $37 million, I hold that fantasy. I idolize it. I imagine it. For me, 99% of the time, that equation leads to a feeling of ease, right? Even when I'm working, it's a feeling of ease. It's like, hey, man, yeah, I'm working right now. I'm squatting. I'm busting out an editing sesh, right? It's stressful to the body. It's stressful to the mind. It's hard. But for some reason, like subconsciously, that's where I'm at the most ease. In the maximum amount of chaos, work, sometimes that's where I find the most tranquility. And that's all I'm saying. For me, it's just working towards my goal allows me, and doesn't mean work. A lot of times working towards my goal is relaxing, hanging out, having fun. It can be whatever. But just progressing towards my goal, working towards my goal, and having that optimistic goal in my thought just leads to a good equation. But having that in the back of my mind, the negative reality, the most possible nihilistic and pessimistic reality possible for me, that also I can utilize it. It's NOS. Ooh, it can really fuel my tank quickly, because I don't want to have this be the peak of my success, happiness, whatever. I don't want this to be it. That's what it is. So that's kind of how I want to end it there, is that there's both sides to it. Figure it out for yourself, and you're going to be just fine, folks. In my opinion. Let's go to my favorite section of the show, in the Minnesota News with Marshal Kramer. In the Minnesota News this week, SeaWorld has made a bid to Cedar Fair for $3.7 billion for a takeover, looking to buy out Cedar Fair, which is an Ohio-based company. And you go, well, this is in the Minnesota News. What could Cedar Fair, based out of Ohio, have to do with us, Marsh? Well, one of the many fair and entertainment properties Cedar Fair owns is Valley Fair, based out of Shakopee, Minnesota. If you're not from Minnesota, that's our amusement park. It's pretty dope. It's got the Wild Thing, and big amusement park, roller coasters, XYZ. So yeah, they're looking to buy them out. SeaWorld's looking to buy out the Cedar Fair and their properties entirely. They got 17 different properties throughout the Midwest and whatnot. So looking to buy them out. What does that mean for Minnesota's Valley Fair? We don't know. We don't know if there's going to be, if they're just going to buy them out and then let all the properties do their thing. Are they going to try and incorporate some type of SeaWorld? Obviously, they're going to have some sort of SeaWorld marketing, but are they going to, is Valley Fair going to start to have some sort of SeaWorld type-esque with, sea creatures, which would be odd, because if you have sea creatures here in Minnesota, there's got to be some sort of enclosed facility because we're freezing, and I don't know. But also, I don't know. There's whales and stuff that exist in the very cold seas. I don't know. I'm excited for it. But I saw that SeaWorld looking to buy out Valley Fair, basically. So we'll see what has to come up for that, and that's in the Minnesota News this week. We'll see what comes out of that, and hopefully you don't change up too much, because Valley Fair is pretty dope. Valley Fair has even got, if you don't know about Valley Fair, they got some old rides too. They got some of those old wooden roller coaster rides. I think there's 2 of them, man, that are there that they've had originally. That my mom, when she went there when she was 10 years old, remembers riding, and I've ridden some of them too. So a lot of nostalgia and cool stuff there. But the future is coming. It's coming right now. And now. Marshal Kramer Show, thank you for tuning in this week, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, take care. Please optimistically believe in your future. Work for it too. And I love you. And until next time, scoot boot. Toodaloo.
I'm drinking too much. Took all my pills, I'm at the bottom. I can't stop thinking so much. I'd rather die than live today.
That might have been the best or the worst deal ever. I don't know.